right, let's be real. High interest rates suck. Nobody wants to pay more than they have to. But if you're waiting for rates to drop before buying a home, you're more than likely making a mistake. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, date the rate, marry the home. If you haven't, I'm sorry, now you have. It's a cheesy phrase and one I personally don't use, but the principles behind it are sound advice, especially in today's market conditions. So, what does it mean? Simply put, don't focus on the interest rate. It's temporary. If you find the right house that fits your needs and satisfies some wants, go ahead and buy it. Waiting for rates to fall will typically have a much higher cost to you than you might think. Yeah, you're going to have a high rate and that sucks, but like I said, it's temporary. You're just dating. You can always refinance it later. On the other hand, the house you love won't always be for sale, so marry it. You got to get it off the market before another buyer shows up who's listening to their agent, gets on bended knee, proposes, courts it for about 30 to 45 days, and then closes the deal with the exchange of some rings. If you're still not convinced, here's an example. Let's say you buy a home today for $500,000 with a 7% interest rate. That puts your monthly mortgage P&I payment at about $3,300. Now let's say 2 years down the road, rates have dropped to 5 and you decide to refinance. Your new payment is about $2,700, saving you about $600 a month. On the flip side, you just can't bring yourself to accept a 7% interest rate because you have it on good authority from your yoga instructor that rates are about to crater. Oh, and so will home prices. The more likely scenario is prices will increase. For this example, we'll use a 5% increase over that same 2-year period, which lines up with national averages. So now that same house costs $550,000 and your rate is at an acceptable 5%. So you pull the trigger and end up with a monthly payment of $2,950. So what did you gain? Well, absolutely nothing. But what you've lost is 2 years of principal paydown on your mortgage, 2 years of increased equity due to property values increasing, and 2 years of rent expense. And I'm sure if I thought about it longer, I'm positive I could think of some other costs as well. Look, I get it. Nobody loves a high interest rate. And for whatever reason, in our culture, it seems like the focus on interest rates is more than it should be. Now, I'm not saying rates be damned, but waiting for a lower one will most likely backfire, especially here in Teton Valley. Property values are continuing to increase year over year. And while that rate of increase is slowing down, the slowdown won't continue if rates drop, as more buyers will enter the market, driving inventory down and prices up. Look, I'm not saying that everyone should rush out and buy a house now, but if you find one that fits your needs and the payments work for you today, just waiting for a better rate is a gamble that's in the house's favor, not yours. You can't time the market perfectly, but what you can do is make a smart decision based on your situation. If you're thinking about buying but unsure if the timing is right, let's talk. Shoot me a text or drop me a comment below. No pressure, just straight answers to help you make the best move.